Hi, I'm Victoria and this is my video journal. For question 1, it is interesting to see that everybody wants what they don't have but other people have. Like Mimi wants to be in a relationship like Mrs. Van Buren, while Mrs. Van Buren wants to be sexually free like Mimi, a prostitute. Question 2, both two values I want to talk about marriage. The first one is blind marriages that Esther and Mr. Marks both have. Ironically, even though there is chemistry between Esther and Mr. Marks, but Mr. Marks were engaged with someone in Romania with someone he had never met, and Esther said yes to George's proposal even though she barely knew him and only wrote letters to him. And second one, women were in a subordinate status in marriage, like Mr. Van Buren's spite on Mrs. Van Buren for not being pregnant. The value presented in this play is like it's women's responsibility to conceive. They're like baby maker. But it is so unfair to see all of those. It may be not Mrs. Van Buren's fault. And Esther gives all her saving to George. She understands the gender roles stereotype and put what her husband wants before her own dream. For question 3, I did some additional research of the playwriter's Lynn Cottage background. The story is based on Lynn's great-grandmother's true story. She worked as a seamstress who married to a Barbadian guy who worked in Bahama Canal. For question 4, even though African Americans had difficulties to make a living in this play, like George cannot find a job and Mamie has to work as a prostitute even though she wants to be a pianist. But they have made so much progress than long time ago, when African Americans were seen as property owned by white people, and they have no human rights at all. In this play, African Americans are able to find jobs, to have a career, and have marriages. So it's so much better than before. For question 5, there is clearly a stereotype of African American people as they're not as highly educated as white people and they have higher criminal rates. But we cannot judge people based on the stereotypes. We should have open-minded. For question 6, my question is it ever gonna be possible for Esther to have a beauty parlor in future if she wants, and how does Esther think of the romantic feeling of Mrs. Van Buren? Thank you.